Hey there everybody, it's Val, and welcome back to Project Reborn, The Labors of Valentine. We spent some time in Erebus today. It was very, entertaining to say the least. Well, there's a couple things I'd like to show you. We found some rock, and actually let me bring it up. It's called Gneiss. Oh, you can actually make nice walls too, that's nice. That wasn't intended as a pun, by the way. So this is what the ore looks like. And unfortunately, I didn't think to keep one to show you. You can fortune it, which I discovered. Made a Fortune 3 pick, and I checked it out, and you can, in fact, fortune it. So that's nice. That's good. And I thought, well, it looks like a really cool block. So let's go ahead and see how it looks. And it does look really cool. I can see that I would, there might be a potential that I would like to use that block. It currently has no uses, neither the nice rocks, or the nice blocks, which is just called nice. I will recommend, however, using a Silk Touch pick to pick it up. Well, you'll see what happens in a moment, but when I used the fortune pick, I lost the block. And you'll see why. Let's do this like this. Actually, let's put this like that. Yeah. Yes, you get a free block of lava with it. I assume that's intended. I don't know if it actually is or not, to be quite honest. I think it's kind of cool. Fortunately, when I first did this, I was in my basement where there is no wood. Otherwise, we could have had a conflagration on my hands. I didn't get this block back when I didn't use the Silk Touch pick, so that's why I said I wanted to warn you, if you didn't use a Silk Touch pick, you can't get it back. However, it does make it a little problematic using this for building, which is unfortunate because I like the block. I'm assuming that lava is intended. I don't know that it is, but it probably is. I will check. But in the meantime, be very careful with these blocks. They are nice, but they're not so nice. Alright. They also, by the way, have no... oh, that's from a creeper I killed earlier. They also have no EMC value, and I'm going to ask if this block and one called Temple Rock could be added. Because that actually produces lava, there might be a reason. That might be why it's not in there. But I want to ask the project team if it's deliberately doesn't have an EMC value for those reasons, or if it could be added. Because I would like to build with it. You're just going to have to be very careful. Assuming that that's intended, of course. And Kelsiver, hello! Welcome to the stream. I am doing my end of the day tour. Alright, so what else did I get up to? Well, in Erebus we ran into a very interesting creature. And one of my people in chat looked this up on me. Looked this up on the wiki for me. And there is a creature called a leech that you can run across in the submerged swamp. And you're supposed to be able to... It's a leech. It attaches itself to your belly, and it sucks the life out of you. It makes you hungry, and it makes you a little bit nauseous, a little bit blind. I say a little bit because you don't actually seem to see the actual effects around you. You don't get blind, and you don't get the actual nausea tilting of the screen, but you do get hunger, and unless you keep eating, you're going to die of starvation. Well, there's a problem with that leech, and you're supposed to be able to hit it in the mouth. Well, I tried to hit that leech. I tried hitting it with my fist. I tried hitting it with my sword. I tried hitting it with a bow. I could not hit it on its mouth or any other part of its anatomy. So I don't know how you're supposed to get it off. I jumped into a pit of lava. I didn't burn up for a reason which I will show you shortly. I tried drowning it. Yeah, the only way I could get rid of it was to let myself starve to death. And then when I came back to where I had died, it was still there, but I couldn't see it. I could hear it. And it wasn't until I went out, away from that so the chunk unloaded and then came back. Well, actually, I shouldn't say the chunk unloaded. Until I went far enough away that it despawned, that it went away audibly. Like I said, I looked around and I couldn't actually see it, but I could hear it. So I think there's something a little awry with that leech. Since there was no way to get it off except by dying. I couldn't even come home from Erebus. When you went and stood in the portal, you couldn't go through the gate with it. I don't know if that's intentional. It might be. But the fact that there's no way to get it off except by dying seems to me to be not quite right, since the wiki said I should be able to punch its lights out, and I should be able to hit it in the mouth, and I couldn't. So, just wanted to warn you about that. I will be reporting that so that we can... I suspect it might be a mod interaction thing. I'm not sure. But I do want to report that because it does seem to me to be not quite right. Alright. I do have some other items to show you today. They are ProjectE items. Pretty cool, and please ignore the cat complaining in the background. She will have to survive 5 minutes. Alright. So I'm going to show you 3 amulets that, when you get around to making gem armor, which is the upgrade from the red matter, you'll have to make these things anyway. But I made them early because Alex in my chat was giving me some really cool information about them, so I said, hey, I'm going to make them because they sound cool. You have the volcanite amulet, which you can, because I was wearing it, and I think you can have it in your hotbar and have it work that way too. Actually, that one I've already showed you. No, that's not the one I've showed you. This is one I've showed you. Let me give that one back. So the volcanite amulet. That's what made me lava-proof, by the way, so that I didn't have to worry about dying. And it's getting dark. Let's have a nap. Alright, so the default key to do what I'm about to show you is R. I had to do a little bit of rearranging of my controls in order for R to work. So you might want to set it to something else in that case. Alright, the meowing cat has been let out of the room by my kind husband. You heard her. I appreciate that. Alright, so you hit R and it fires a nice little projectile, and all operation costs are 32 EMC each, which means you need some source of EMC energy, like glowstone, or in my case a Klein star, in order to power it. But it does make you lava proof. So as you can see, it works in your hand as well as in here. It's always nice to have a nice warm sauna. You look at the blue sky and lean back. Well, maybe not this warm. Alright, so that's pretty cool. I like that. Now, the second item I want to show you is actually right here. There is the water version of it called the Evertide amulet. Again, you hit R and it will send out a little projectile. This one apparently, however, is free. Oops, let me go here. You can right-click to fill tanks. Press R to fire a water projectile. All operations are completely free. So that is pretty cool. Now, I don't know if it will fill this tank, actually, come to think of it. It will. Okay, so you can use this to fill your wooden water tank from Agrocraft. Excellent. So it probably works with the other tanks around too. Excellent. Now this has two other things that it does. It lets you breathe underwater, and I'm just going to go demonstrate that if I can get around to the water here. Here we go. Let's go stand in my handy dandy. Yeah, and you see that weirdness that just happened there? I'll explain that in a moment. Now, as you can see, I am not drowning, which is excellent. And what it's also supposed to do is it's supposed to let you walk on the water. It starts to do that, as you can see, but then it stops. And you get that weird speed effect happening. I have tried this with no armor, like nothing but that in my inventory. I have logged out and logged back in again to see if it was an issue that way. But it is supposed to let you see, I'm on the water. No, I just fell in. Okay. So it's kind of working and kind of not. Now it's working for me. But there's something funky with it. Yeah, now it's working for me. But there is something weird going on there because, well, as you saw earlier, I fell right in after a brief hesitation, so it's not reliable. There's something going on. But once that is sorted out, this would be pretty cool to... Well, there I go, in. Let's try it from this direction. Nope, I'm back in the water. I'm flying, that's why I'm not. Okay, well. Was I flying before? Yeah, maybe I was flying before. Okay, so anyway, it's not working. Enough of playing about showing that that part's not working. So the third item is the item that is, I think, responsible for the fact that the gneiss did not burn up when the lava appeared with the soak touch. It's called the Black Hole Band, and it is also a ProjectE item. You right-click to turn it on and off, and, well, it does exactly like you might expect. It's a black hole, and it sucks objects towards it. It has about 6 or 7 range, I think, so let's do it like this. This is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's put one there. Actually, you might... There, you're definitely on that block now. Let's do that one. Actually, you might not be quite... There we are. Just so we can do a little testing. Then I go back and I turn it on. Yep. So I'm standing here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so that's a pretty decent block range. And it works as well if you are wearing it in your bauble slot, which I think is awesome. And I'm going to have that on most of the time because I like my magnets. Last thing I wanted to show you is I finally realized, after being prodded by my chat, that I did in fact have enough EMC lying around to make a transmutation tablet, which is the portable version of your transmutation table. And just like the ones that you place, it shares the EMC pool and the things that it's learned. It's all a common pool, which is awesome. So now I don't have to keep placing one down. I just have to keep it in my inventory. And actually there is one more item, which you may have noticed and I almost forgot. The Ender Bag from Ender Utilities. I like it. I like it a lot. Let me show you how it works. You can bind it to a chest. Now, right now you can only bind it to vanilla chests, but Gideon Seymour from the Phoenix team was in chat earlier, and he is going to add diamond chests, and I assume probably the gold and the iron chests to the whitelist as well, so that they work. And all you have to do, like if I open it right now, you can see that I've got it bound to that chest up there. You just shift right click, or is it just right? Yes, it's shift right click. So now you can see I'm bound to my food chest. Then shift right click, now it's bound back to that chest. So right now, because this isn't on the whitelist, if I try to bind it to this, I get that message. It's not whitelisted, but he is going to add it. So that will be fabulous, because then we can have this big of a chest attached to our ender bag. Which means if you're out somewhere and you think you're going to die, you can throw all your precious stuff in there and have it back at home. And I love ender bags for that, just the same way I love ender pouches, which do, well, basically the same thing, but with ender chests. In fact, I actually like this better because you can bind it to bigger chests than the ender chest. So, yeah. Highly recommend you making one as soon as you can. In fact, let me just show you the recipe for that. It's not that expensive. Once you're able to get diamonds and eyes of enter and a leather, I suggest you make one because they're cool. And you can actually put them, I'm hoping I put this one in here. Pouch? Oops, no. There we are. Yeah, so once you made one and you put it in your transmutation table, you got as many as you can afford in EMC. As many as you want. The only thing you can't do with it, which I think would be kind of cool, is if you could dye it and have the different dyed ones attached to different chests. So my assumption is that if I made another one, actually let's check that right now. Let's see if I'm assuming incorrectly. So this is a brand new one. It's not bound to anything. Okay, so let's see. Can I bind you to a different one? Okay, you're bound to the food chest. Okay. Awesome. I didn't know it would do that. That is fabulous. Now I want even more than ever to be able to dye them so I can tell them apart. Cool. The things you learn when you mess about. Now, I think that's everything. I think that's all the cool things that we did today. I did a little bit of crossbreeding, and in fact, I'm just going to go and check and see how it did. Or not crossbreeding, rather. I'm trying to get better seeds. And it looks like it worked very nicely. So I'll just show you what I did here. Which, I got the idea from Packrat in his current stream of Magic Farm 3 beta. He's the only one that has permission to stream that right now. But what am I looking for here? Right, I'm looking for crop sticks. There we are. Thank you. And yes, I can name them on an anvil, and I will do that, Alex. That's a good point. I meant to do that earlier and I forgot. But I'm a visual person. I kind of like to be able to see it in different colors. Like, for example, the one that I keep all my tools in, I like to dye yellow. Because yellow is often used in tools. So anyway, let's just take these out. And I will show you. Oh, okay. Well, hang on. So what I did was I went like this. And then I just put a seed. And I have no idea which is the best seed. Except it's going to be a strawberry seed. So let's just put that down for the moment. I just did that. And over time, it basically it didn't crossbreed because there's only the one seed that it can work with, but it did propagate to a new seed, strawberry seed here, which I wasn't aware that it could do. I thought you always had to have two in contact with the crossbreeding frame that you wanted. So I thought you would have to have one here, here, or here in order to get this one to work, but that's not the case. And that's what I learned from Packrat. And then, of course, I elaborated on myself by doing this row of crossbreeding frames, which worked very nicely along here. But we have one advantage that in that we don't have to worry about weeds. If we had to worry about weeds in this mod pack, I wouldn't recommend doing this because you would come back and find all your plants turned to weeds. And that would obviously not be what you were attempting to do. Alright. Now I'm pretty sure I'm done. So guys, thanks for watching this tour. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the stream sometime. You all take care now. Bye!